Hi guys, welcome back to Decorating Happily Ever After. I'm Jeffrey Kevin. Well, I'm still in a fancy frame of mind, so I thought I would set us an elegant spring tablescape. I'm using vintage china, vintage Wedgewood with lots of elegant accents and a color scheme of blues and corals. So let's take a look around the table. For today's tablescape, I'm using a damask coral tablecloth. I got this quite a few years ago at Walmart. To be honest, it's not the highest quality, but I keep it and I enjoy using it because of the color. It's such an unusual shade of coral. And I'm going to be using my new chargers again. I got these from Amazon. I've only had them a week or two. And they've got the antique gold with the pretty scalloped edges. And for the china today, I'm going to be using these lovely vintage plates. They're Tertianruth Bavarian, and they're vintage, and I'll tell you some more about these in a minute. But they've got this lovely filigree border around the edge with a floral pattern, and I have a dozen of these, and there are 3 different patterns, but they're all very similar with the floral design, and I've used all 3 patterns. I'm going to be using my gold flatware today along with my knife rest, my crystal knife rest. I'm going to use my Longchamp cut glass. And I'm also going to pair with today's setting Wedgewood. Here I've got the Wedgewood teacup. This is the classic blue jasperware, and it has the neoclassical people on it. I also have the Wedgewood. These are probably dessert plates, but I didn't want to cover up the pretty floral that's on my plates, so I'm going to set them here where the bread and butter go, and there's really not very much size difference anyway. And for the dinner napkins, I'm going to be using blue, and I didn't really want to use any napkin rings today. I didn't want to cover up the pretty plates, and so I'm just going to arrange it in the glass. For my centerpiece today, I'm using fresh flowers that I've clipped from the yard. They're in, if I can get a shot of it, barely, they're in a Wedgewood compote and just about covered up. But these are my viburnums. I have a very large bush at my store. Unfortunately, honeysuckle has gotten in the bush and it really didn't bloom very much this year, so I'm going to have to try to get that out before it destroys the bush. And then shout out to my next door neighbor. She had these lovely coral peonies. A beautiful bush is blooming right now, and I saw them and I thought, oh, those would be perfect to go on my table. And so I asked her, and she let me have some to use in my centerpiece today. So I think that's so pretty with the peonies. I just love them. They smell so good. I have had white ones in the past, but I don't know what happened, if a mole or something got them. And I had them for many years, and they were very similar to these, but I don't have them anymore. So right now I don't have any peonies, or as we say in the South, peonies. But I need to get me some more. But I thought this made such a pretty spring arrangement. And here I'm using again these lovely French style candelabras that Mother found at a thrift store. I know I told you that story last time, but they're so elegant and pretty. And she probably paid $20 for them. I think they're so pretty. Mother has a cutoff limit, much lower than mine. But I have since saw them on eBay for $500 and $600. So I just love them. And you guys know, if you saw my house tours, you know I love candelabras. I love candlesticks. I always have. They're just one of my favorite things. But I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the china. Please don't make me repeat the name, but it is Bavarian. It's from Germany. And these are actually what they call cabinet plates. They're really intended to go in cabinets. These plates, they don't come with all the other pieces like teacups and bread and butter plates and serving pieces. They're really designed, they can be eaten off of, but they're really designed to fill up fancy cabinets. That's what their purpose. I think I have about 3 or 4 sets of cabinet plates. I have another set that I got at Christmas that's this beautiful maroon with flowers, and I'll use those in the future. But I got these at an estate sale down the street from where we live. Our street here in Dyersburg, Sampson Avenue, is named after a Confederate general, General Sampson. We are Simpsons on Sampson Avenue. And there are more historic homes left on this street than anywhere in Dyersburg. And they're all different styles and lots of pretty ones. But Miss Polly was an older lady who is deceased now, but she and her husband lived 5 or 6 houses up the street in a lovely French style house with a mansard roof. Off the top of my head, I would call it Second Empire, but I don't think that's the right word for it. But it's a lovely house, probably about 1850s. And I knew her a little. I didn't know her well, but she would speak whenever we'd be out in the yard and doing things and say hi and compliment what we were working on. And we also visited her with a group of carolers at Christmas once, and she gave us a tour of the house. So when I heard of her estate, it was an online auction, I wanted to have something of hers. And these are what I set my eye on. I greatly overpaid for them. Later, an antique dealer said everybody wanted something of Miss Polly's, and that's true. I could not believe what her antiques went for. And if anybody wants a set of these plates, they have them right now on eBay for about $50 less than I paid for a dozen. But like I said, they were Miss Polly's, and I wanted to have something of hers, and so I got what I wanted. But anyway, I think they're so pretty with the gold borders. They almost look yellow around the edge, but they're not. It's just real heavy gold. And then there's lots of colors. I could have went lots of ways with these plates. I could have did greens, tablecloth. I could have did gold. So there was a lot of leadway, but I thought the coral would be pretty for spring. And since this pattern doesn't have serving pieces, I thought, well, it would be good to pair my Wedgewood. The Wedgewood, there is some blue. I don't know if this particular plate's got the blue flower, but there are some blue flowers, and I thought, well, also the neoclassical people, you wouldn't want to mix it with other people, so the floral, the people mix pretty together. And I've collected Wedgewood for the last few years. This here is the teapot. My Wedgewood is from most of it around the 1950s. It's all vintage, and I bought it a piece at a time. So I found this, all of it came from eBay. I found the teapot first, maybe a couple years ago, and then this set of dessert plates I bought for Christmas this year. And the way Wedgewood is, it's still pricey and expensive, especially on the secondary market. And so you just have to look, keep your eyes open, and something will show up. These are really sweet little salt and pepper shakers. I found they're porcelain and they have different flowers on the sides. I got these at Goodwill, of all places, and they had a large collection of salt and peppers. Most of them were kind of silly, and there were a few rustic ones that I bought for the chalet, and this was the dressiest pair, and I thought they were pretty. They're probably hand painted. Somebody made those, painted those. And here I've got a really pretty sugar cellar, and I don't know if you can tell there on the back hangs the little scoop, and it's gold lined too, and I think that's really pretty. But back to the Wedgewood, like I said, I've loved it since I was a teenager, and this is the coffee pot and the sugar and creamer. I believe I got that last year. The teacups, I got a set of those this year for Christmas. And then the compote that the arrangement is in, I also have it. I've gotten about everything that I want. I don't collect the tableware. Really is all that I collect. Now there are lots of boxes and ring catchers and vanity pieces and various vases and things, but I really am mostly interested in the tableware. One thing I would like to get, they have a cheese dome, but I'm looking for the right one at the right price and not damaged. And so I'm still looking for that. They do have a beautiful urn with a covered lid that I really like, but it's just so pricey. So I haven't given in to that. But anyway, like I said, I love Wedgewood, and it's funny, Mother and I, we generally like 99.9 of the same things. We just about never disagree. But there's two things that I like and that she likes, or that she doesn't like, and that is Meissen and Wedgewood. Mother does not like Wedgewood. She says she just doesn't get it. She doesn't care for the matte finish, and she's not a blue fan, and I don't have a lot of blue things myself, but it's a classic, this color, but she does not care for it at all. She just don't get it, but that's okay. We don't have to like exactly the same thing, but she tolerates it for me. And here we've got a really pretty crumb saver or silent butler. You guys know I collect them. This is not a pattern that matches anything, but I thought it has a lot of gold, like the dishes. And of course, it's a glorified dustpan. You open the lid and brush your crumbs into it. And here is a little vintage bell, little dinner bell. But like I said, Mother is not into the Wedgewood, and she doesn't care for Meissen either. Which I really don't have any true Meissen. Now there's Capodimonte that is similar to it, and it was made in the 1960s and 70s. I don't really care for the colors, although it's like a bigger version of the Capodimonte. But Mother, I have a few little boxes with cherubs and little roses stuck on them, and Mother always says that there's always some roses or leaves broken off, which she's right, there usually is. It's very hard to find it that's not broken. Right here, this is actually it's a cigarette holder, but I thought it looked like a jam jar, and it too is the Wedgewood. Oh, I think these peonies are so beautiful. Wish you could smell them. Here I've got a little small little vase. I don't know where I picked this up, probably the yard sale. Actually, I think it's a knockoff of Wedgewood, but it's a little small vase. But I think the Wedgewood pairs pretty with different patterns. Like I said, as long as there's a little blue, you know, you can get by with pairing it with a lot of things. Or you could use it by itself, just as a tea service if you wanted to. This is a lovely compote stand here. It's the same pattern as the Silent Butler. and it's got heavy gold border and the roses. And let me show you the base. It has pretty gold base with 3 legs. Then too, I thought it blended nicely here with the pattern. And you can mix different patterns. And this is a really pretty vintage, I guess it's a meat fork. I always pick up ornate pieces like that, and I thought it was pretty. And here I set a little piece of what I call Capodimonte style. This is not Capodimonte, and it isn't old. It's actually a reproduction. But you see pieces from the 1800s that are French. They're enormous vases, candelabras. They even did chandeliers. And they're just covered with all these applied roses, and they're very frou-frou. It's not for everybody. But like Mother said, usually there's a rose gone or something gone. But I have a few little boxes with cherubs and a few things that are the Capodimonte style. Although they're not actually Capodimonte. But give me some time. I'll probably have some one of these days when I run across it. Mother loves the table. She thought it was beautiful. And like I said, it did turn out really good. For those of you who enjoy keeping up appearances, I think this is a table that Hyacinth Bouquet could really enjoy. It's very British with the Wedgewood. That's very English. I don't know if she had any Wedgewood on the show or not. I do have Royal Doulton dishes, I think 2 sets, but they don't have hand-painted periwinkles. But I do have a couple of sets. But the candelabras, she always had candelabras on her table, and it seemed like she used blue a lot on her tables. So I thought, well, this is a table that Hyacinth Bouquet would have loved. I think she said, if I quote her right, once about one of her tables, that it was a social triumph after she set the table. So maybe this is a social triumph for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a comment below and share it with a friend. Give this video a thumbs up. Be sure and subscribe to my channel, Decorating Happily Ever After, and turn on the notifications bell so you never miss a video. I'm Jeffrey Kevin, hoping that you decorate happily ever after. Bye-bye now.